I've reviewed hundreds of editor portfolios in my 15 years as an Emmy-nominated editor, and there are three mistakes I keep seeing that are killing your chances before a client has even watched your work. And if you're making mistake number three, then you're never going to progress in your editing career. By the way, my name is Shiny. I spent the last 15 years working with clients like Vice, BBC, Ogilvy as a documentary and commercial editor. And it's my goal to help you understand what storytelling in editing actually is and how you can use it to craft engaging edits that attract £300 to £500 per day clients. By the way, if you want your edits or your portfolio reviewed by myself, then just submit it on the link below. I'll take a look and I'll let you know exactly the mistakes that you're making and how you can improve. Mistake number one is quantity over quality. Most editors think that more equals better. I'm always seeing portfolios with tons of different pieces in, sometimes 15 or 20 pieces, all of different qualities. And the truth is, your portfolio is not about you. It's about the client. They're looking through the lens of, why does this matter to me? So it's not about showing all of the things that you can potentially do. It's about making sure that the client sees exactly what they are supposed to see. Now, one of the main reasons that editors will do this is just fear of not having enough, thinking that the more stuff is in their portfolio, the higher the likelihood there is of somebody seeing something that they like. And the flip side of that coin is probably editors thinking, well, I only have 2 or 3 pieces, and what if they don't like those? So instead they opt to show range. And the opposite side of that is mastery. And that is what the client wants to see. They need to be able to see that from as few sources as possible. You've got to make it as easy as possible for the client. Or if I'm reviewing portfolios for hiring an editor, then I have 1 minute pretty much, maybe 2 minutes that I'm going to be spending looking at that editor's portfolio. So if I have to spend that entire minute just scrolling through all of the content just to see if something stands out, then I'm going to lose my patience. And in that 1 to 2 minutes, I can either spend 30 seconds scrolling and then 30 seconds watching, or if what I need to see is served to me, then I can spend 10 seconds scrolling and 40 seconds watching, or 20 seconds watching one thing and 20 seconds watching another. It's just a better use of time. Imagine you are in a restaurant and you see 50 items on that menu. Then you're going to be overwhelmed. The waiter's going to come around, ask you if you're ready to order, and you'll be like, oh, I just need another minute. They're going to come around again, and you'll be, I still haven't decided. And how is a client supposed to do the same with your portfolio if you're cramming it with 20 different options? Now compare that to a menu where there are 5 perfect dishes. All of a sudden, that choice is a lot easier and you're more excited by those options. And another thing to take into consideration is, which is different for editors, is the fact that a client is going to be assessing how good you are across everything. And your reputation is only as good as your weakest piece of work. And that's a really important thing to remember. The client is looking at all of your work and is judging it on the weakest thing because you deem that weak video good enough to be in your portfolio. So you must be proud of it. And so you have to curate the hell out of your portfolio and make sure that you only have choice pieces in there. 6 to 10 pieces. That's probably the golden number. Every piece in that portfolio should show a different strength. Pacing, emotion, structure, storytelling, whatever that is, you should be able to send one or all of those videos to a client, and it should be really easy for them to go, oh, that looks like something that I'm trying to make right now. And a bit of a litmus test is, to imagine if you were to send this one video to a potential client, would you be happy with that? Would it summarize your skills? If not, get rid of it. So remember, your portfolio is not about you, it's about the client. Now, if you're watching this thinking, oh, yeah, I think that might be me, then drop a comment below to let me know what it is that you're struggling with most at the moment with your portfolio. I'll reply and I'll give you specific advice. And if you found this useful, don't forget to like. Now, the second mistake is sharing the ingredients and not the menu. Most portfolio sites I see are just a patchwork, a mosaic of thumbnails, and that's it. And I'm looking at it going, well, looks nice, but what am I looking at? If a client has 1 minute to review everything, they're going to make snap judgments, and they're looking at your work thinking, okay, I have an edit in mind that I really want done, and I know the problems that are going to come with this job. And I'm looking at your portfolio and I want to make sure that you are the right person, that this job with these specific problems that are going to come up, that you can handle it perfectly without fault. And you're going to ride the wave and out the end of that, deliver a stunning edit. And how did they make that decision from one thumbnail? It's impossible. All you're showing is that you can make a good thumbnail, which, is a skill to itself. What they need is context. Without context, they don't know if you can solve their problems. Now imagine back at the restaurant, you're looking at a menu, and on it, one of the items is chicken with garlic, celery, thyme, rosemary, red wine, onions, versus a menu item that says pan-fried chicken with red wine jus. They're both the same thing, but the second one, you can imagine all those flavors in your mouth. You can conceptualize what that experience is going to be like when that food comes. Or when you're just listing ingredients, how do you even understand that? How do you conceptualize it? You can't. You're just playing a bit of a gamble. And so you need to help the client conceptualize what it would be like to work with you on a project. And the way that you're going to do that is with captions. Captions, descriptions, they're going to help the client understand the edit that they're looking at. It's going to help them navigate and find what they need to a lot easier. And they'll be able to tell if you can solve their problems on this specific project that they are hiring for right now. So don't go listing the brief. This was the brief for this video. They need a little more context. What was your role in that? Did you just do the editing? Did you do the color grading? Did you do the sound mix? Did you do some animations, some VFX, some motion graphics? Be specific. And then, more importantly, what were the constraints that you solved? What were the problems? What were the challenges on that project? And explain how you overcame them. Because every project has its own challenges. And you can pretty much predict the challenges that you're going to face on each project. Clients hire problem solvers, not button pushers. And that's a huge thing that gets overlooked, especially by editors coming into the industry fresh. It might seem like our job is just making an edit, but there's so much more to it. The client is coming with a problem. They have a video that he's making, they've got footage, and they're choosing somebody who can potentially do something within a limited time frame, can tell a story with limited footage, can work with stock footage, can do a video that's host-led, can work with talking heads and make them exciting. All of these are challenges. And if you can't make a talking head video exciting, then you're not right for that video, because there is another editor out there who can and has finessed that. So you need to show that you understand their world and you understand the problems that they are facing on this specific project, and you are the exact person they need to help make it go smooth. So a good example, I'm sure you're probably waiting for an example. I'll give you a little example of what could be a good caption for a specific film. My client needed to turn 6 months of footage into a 90-second brand film for social media. The brief was to make it feel epic but authentic. And the challenge was that there was no professional lighting and it was all handheld and there was no script at all. So we leaned into the raw aesthetic, making it feel like a fly on the wall kind of documentary style, and we built rhythm through pacing instead of polishing it. Now, very quickly, in a few seconds, a client can read that and go, that seems like it's worth my time to watch. And then you know that you have signposted them to the exact piece of work that is most appropriate for the problem that they are facing right now. To help you write a really attractive caption, you can use the STAR framework, which stands for situation, task, action, and result. And by following that, you can explain very clearly what the brief was, what happened, how you overcome the problems, and what was the result of that. Were there 100,000 views? Was the client happy and booked me 3 repeat times? There is a result of all the good work that you put into that edit, and the client wants to know. And the third mistake I see constantly is career misalignment. If you're sending a portfolio to a client for a corporate job and you have a portfolio filled with wedding videos, they're not going to see the correlation here. They're looking to make sure that you have experience and you can solve the exact problem for the exact edit that they are hiring for right at this very moment. You can't send a portfolio to a director for a short film that's full of explainer videos. They're just not going to see the correlation. And whilst I can understand that a lot of editors think that it shows I can edit, yes, it does. And to be honest, this is a blocker that I've faced throughout my career, and it's kind of disheartening because you just want to break out, you want to try something else, and like, I can do it. I can absolutely do it. I can definitely do it. I could probably do it better than the person that you're going to be hiring, but you can't prove that until you have something in your portfolio that is as close as possible to that specific video. A lot of editors think that skills are universal. They're not wrong, but the clients don't see it. They just don't. Unfortunately, we have to work to the client's needs. I tried to pivot from documentaries to commercials, and I knew I could do it because I'd cut trailers, which are essentially commercials for films. I'd done fashion, I'd done music, I'd done all these things, but they essentially were commercials. However, I couldn't convince any producers that I could cut commercials. So to overcome that, I used found footage that I downloaded from existing commercials online, cut it into my own version, and then used that as proof of concept. Because clients aren't hiring you for what you say you can do. They're hiring for what they see you can do. They want proof that you understand their specific world. Documentary clients want to see that you can handle unscripted footage. Agency clients want to see that you can execute a brand vision. The different skill sets, the different showcases. So how do you align your portfolio with your goals? Well, firstly, you need to figure out what work you actually want to do. That's important. That all comes down to your lifestyle choices. What freedom do you want? And what income do you want? And your interests. What excites you? You don't want to wake up and dread starting work. Then think about all of the choices of editing career that matches that lifestyle. Audit your portfolio and make sure that it shows that specific work. And if it doesn't, then you've got 2 options. The first option is to spend years on strategic projects that build your portfolio in the right direction. And the second option is to join the Unsplice Storycraft Sprint and create 1 spec edit in only 30 days with my help. I help you figure out who your ideal client is, what kind of editing excites you the most and will fit your lifestyle. Then we'll find out what those clients that you want to work with want to see in your portfolio. Will be the script. We'll get a direction on footage, and then you'll get feedback from an Emmy nominee, and I'll help you build that one perfect portfolio piece that is a showcase piece you can show to any potential clients so that you can secure some work in the career that you want to work in. If you're interested in that program, the details are in the description. What you don't want to do is show everything in your portfolio and hope that a client will see the potential in something. What you do want to do is make it easy as possible for the client to see exactly what they're hiring for at that moment. By the way, I'm introducing portfolio reviews, and I'm going to be reviewing portfolios and edits on the YouTube channel. So if you would like your edit or your portfolio reviewed, then head to the link down in the description and submit it. I'll let you know exactly what's working, where you can improve, and how you can fix it. Link is in the description. And if you found this episode useful, you'll definitely want to check out this one.